Oh yeah. Oh, I found my AirPods. All right. Greetings. Welcome back to it's exciting. I really actually enjoy kind of shooting these videos because, as you know, it's provoking me to think, and I hope it's provoking you to think as well. Today's question. Okay, let me first start by answering yes. Yes, I have. In the last 5 years, I've created a lot of art. I'm a creative person. I enjoy making things. I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy building and making, like working with wood. I enjoy doing a whole bunch of things. In addition to that, I also like making things like videos. I also love, and this is probably the most art that I've made, is music, creating music. The problem that I have, and where this question really kind of hits home for me, is that when we talk about creating art in the last 5 years, the answer is yes. And then the follow-up question that's there is like, well, can we see some of this art? And that is where, that's where I think we have a lot of problems. You see, the thing that's kept me from finishing art, creating art in sometimes, and especially sharing it is, on the surface, there's a whole bunch of excuses. There's a whole bunch of things of why I would not be able to share things. There's a whole bunch of things. Well, it's not finished yet. It's not my best work. Oh, it was just an idea, and I wasn't really serious about it. I was sick when I was doing it. You know, it was bad. Bad lighting or whatever it is. Right? There's always an excuse. But I think the reality, when it comes down for me, is 3 simple words: fear of failure. And it actually took someone else, it took my wife to point that out in me, in terms of noticing that, like, I have this big fear of failure. And so that would actually keep me from stepping out and taking risk and making art. The thing is, art in a sense is risky because it's an expression of you. It's an expression of how you see the world. And so when you're making art, you are essentially putting out onto the table for anyone to see that this is your take. Now, the thing is that people can either accept it or they can reject it. But I think as creatives, what we have to learn is whether or not people accept it or reject it, it has no bearing on whether or not or has very little bearing, I should say, on whether or not it's good art. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's no standards for art. There are standards. However, the fear of failure should not keep us from creating. The other thing about it is that everybody starts somewhere. There are lots of amazing artists, musicians, photographers, videographers, all kinds of people that are out there. Maybe some of you guys are incredible at what you do in a creative way, in an artistic way. But you probably didn't start incredibly. And I think that's the part that kind of scares me, is failing, as well as this idea of this long journey. If I'm honest with you, I just want to be good. I really want to be good at what I do, and I want to be seen as good at what I do. And I don't want to be seen as someone who's like, yeah, I get it, but it's not very good. It kind of sucks. Because when I think deeply about that, it's kind of like, oh, it's like maybe I'm not good. And I know that is actually something, that's actually a lie. It doesn't mean that I'm not good or whatnot. That has no bearing and reflection on who I am and who I've been made to be. It just maybe means that, a number of things. Maybe I'm not good at the specific art form, or maybe it just takes time. You know what I mean? I have a lot of things to work on, which is probably it. But anyway, when I picked up that question, I was like, my goodness. Yeah, man. Have I created any art? Yep. I know what's coming next. Have you shared any art? Yeah. I think in part, like, that's also why the vlog for me was big, even though when I look back at it, I spend most of my time with my hands over my face, because I'm like, man, I cannot believe I created those videos. But then part of me also wants to stand tall and say, like, man, I cannot believe that I created those videos. Like, I actually got that done. So anyway, yeah, make art. There's a YouTube channel that I kind of love. It's a guy, I don't know what his name is, but anyway, it's a video that's make art now, and I love kind of that mantra of just get it done, do something. So question for you is, does the fear of failure keep you from making art? And if you have any art and you'd like to share it, I'd love to check it out down below. Depending on how many people comment on this video is really going to depend on what we can get to. But if you're in the comments as well and someone else, like, check it out. You know, leave a like and a comment on how it is. It's really helpful for creators and for people to be able to share their things and people to give feedback on it, even if it's not the best. You know, quick story. I remember I used to be the moderator for this fairly large group now called Vloggers of YouTube on Facebook. And one of the best things that we were able to do in that time, there's a whole bunch of stuff, good and bad, about it, but one of the best things that we were able to do was people would be able to post their videos, and then other vloggers would go ahead and watch it, and then they'd leave comments below like, hey, that was really cool when you did that. I really like this. Hey, it's missing some of this, and blah, 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 all this. Like, that stuff really fuels that artistic and creative development within us because we're getting the feedback. So I would love for your feedback on these videos. I'd also love, you know, to check out your stuff and to, as best as possible, you know, give my feedback on what you're making. And yeah, remember, it's a dialogue, right? It's ongoing, back and forth. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you leave your responses below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.